How much stick am I going to get in the comments if I admit that Mick Powell's currently our top scorer? Hello and welcome to part 75 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we've got double DONS. The McDons coming up first and then the real DONS afterwards in back-to-back away games in League One. You'd think that two clubs with such similar names would be close to each other. Apparently not, because one of the clubs was stolen and relocated. Lower League ran over. Since you were last with me, the form's been good, apart from Lincoln. We lost against Lincoln, and that wasn't so good. But Mick Powell is joint top scorer. It doesn't tell the whole story. That was largely due to a hat-trick against Liverpool under-23s in the Mickey Mouse Cup, which puts him level on 6 goals with Matondo. Matondo's goals have come in the league, so they're actually real goals that are important. In fact, Mick Powell got 2 goals against Forest Green in the League Cup, 3 goals against Liverpool. Mick Powell has 1 league goal this season. So, it looks less impressive when you look at that kind of things. But when he plays, when we rotate in these cup competitions, he does come in and score goals. So, Mick Powell is he's coming back to life. He's potentially doing a Mick Powell again. That man will just never quit, which is good. This is what the League One table looks like. After 7 games, we're in 5th place. Lincoln, the one team who've beaten us, are top of the league, so no shame in losing to them. As you can see, Matondo's joint top scorer in the division, so puts into perspective just how good Powell's performance has been in scoring as many goals as he had, albeit in different competitions. But to be fair to Mick Powell, and I know I'm not very often, he's obviously scoring goals in the games I'm letting him play. He's not playing much in the way of league football. This is the team for today's game, as you can still see. Still no space for Mick Powell in it, but who would you drop to bring Mick Powell in? There's just nobody droppable there. I haven't played this save for about 4 days at this point, full disclosure, and I'm trying to remember if you know that we signed some players. Hold on, I've got to work this out. This is professionalism at its best here. So you would have seen, you must have seen them sign. I know from the comments from a couple of days ago, I introduced Luke McCormick twice. We signed some players, some attacking midfielders and a defender. I don't remember introducing them. Very quickly, just in case I haven't, Dean Lloyd is an attacking midfielder. He's on loan. Tony Robertson is a defender with potential. He's signed permanently, record signing. Ian Morton is another attacking midfielder. He's on loan. Oliver Gregson, I don't even remember you. He's a right back. He's a free transfer. I really should not leave 3 or 4 day gaps between playing saves. I got so far ahead on Home last week. That's why earlier in the week we had Home come out before Non-League to Legend, because I got so far ahead on Home, I had to stop myself playing it and catch up with the other save. But this is the team we're going to put out there for the game against McDons. And we've got Humphreys in goal, a back 4 of Wearmouth, Proctor, Wright and Gregson, with Fernandez, McCormick and Sawinski in midfield, Morton in behind Matondo and Harris up front. Let's get into the game. Let's play some delightful attacking, free-scoring football, and let's put the McDons in their place, because, I mean, no one likes them. If you're a McDons fan, why? I guess maybe if you're like 12 and you grew up in Milton Keynes, I'll allow it. Go then carry straight where you finished off last match. Let's say that. We can't passionately say that. Well, let's calmly say that then. Let's go out there and enjoy what we were doing. But yeah, I just I don't know. I don't want to alienate a whole set of football fans unless they support Milton. Anyway, let's I shouldn't play them in videos. I always try and avoid them. Because I like to pretend they don't exist. Kev, stop it. Their fan might be watching, for goodness sake. Oh, but then, to be fair, he'll just go and watch someone else if they offer him more money. Shut up, Kev. Stop it. We're losing now as well. I've wound them up enough that they're now going to beat us. I can't lose against McDonald's. It troubles me. Oh, Humphreys, that was poor. There's been a bit of stick for Humphreys in the comments in recent episodes, and I kind of do see why. But I also remember Civita having to play in goal at the start of this season, and he was also pretty poor. I don't think necessarily it's a case of Civita's great, he needs to come back in and play instead of Humphreys. Because remember, with Civita, yes, he was great, but he was great for us in non-league. And he was great before the patch that made goalkeepers not as good as they were before in certain ways. Certainly the ways that made Civita good. He got a massive downgrade as part of the patch that came out a little while ago. And we've gone up 2 leagues since Civita was an outstanding goalkeeper for us and Humphreys was his understudy. So I think rather than either of them forcing their way into the team ahead of the other, maybe, I don't think it's a case of let's drop Humphreys and play Civita again. I think what we probably need to do is make goalkeeper the next position we strengthen. We've got no money left this season unless we have a big January sale and generate some cash that way, which I guess is fairly likely based on previous seasons. We do seem to sell a big player fairly regularly these days because we need to stay afloat. So we might be able to bring a keeper in January, but are we likely to find a decent keeper in January? Probably not. So I guess we've got Humphreys for this season, and then next year, regardless of what league we're in, we need a new goalkeeper, especially if we get promoted and have to take these 2 keepers we signed in non-league. Because Humphreys was our backup keeper in the National League. And if he has to be our keeper in the Championship, that's troublesome. Matondo has just scored a lovely header. He didn't like any of this Mick Powell top scorer nonsense. He's now up to 8 for the season, and this is lovely. I know the first one was a penalty that he absolutely thwacked, but that is a delightful header. And on the half-hour mark, it's McDons 1, Holme 2, puts us back up to 4th place in the league. There's some big teams in this league now, and okay, there's Ipswich, who I know from previous non-league to legends. Sawinski's in. I thought he'd messed it up. He hadn't. He's managed to turn it round and grab the goal anyway. McDons 1, Holme 3. We're rampant all of a sudden. And that league table, Chester are still up there with us again. It's like, imagine if the 3 teams promoted this year are us, Chester and Ipswich. It's like a Kev past, present and rivalry situation. It's a Kev promotion. Mind you, I've managed Plymouth in the past as well. Who else have I managed? I think I've managed Portsmouth as well, haven't I? I've got around a bit these days, haven't I? Especially at this level. You can see this is my level. Right. Let's calmly... I am pleased. That was a good first half performance. We went a goal down. We didn't let it get us down. And we went in at the half-time, 2 goals to the good, with dominant possession as well. We've played very, very well in that first half. Hopefully, we can carry that on through. Yikes, that was a free kick and a half. Although, I'm already thinking, let's have a look at the replay and just see where Humphreys is here. So it hits the crossbar. And he then goes under his body. I'm not blaming him. I'm not going down the route of making goalkeepers my scapegoats again. I've managed to avoid doing that too much on FM19, but I'm going back to so many of my previous antics over the last week or so. We're using a 4-3-1-2 for goodness sake. The only logic is to start blaming the goalkeepers when things don't go well. Right, let's. We're going to take Morton off, bring Will Swan on. Will Swan probably is a little bit hard done by to have missed out when we brought those young players in on loan, because Swan didn't let us down at all when he was playing as the attacking midfielder earlier in the season. McCormick can come off for... See, it says Bakinson. I'm obviously going to bring Shane Phillips on to be the tackler in midfield, and we're actually going to switch it to a diamond, I think, and do that just to shore things up a little bit. Let's show some passion. I don't know that passion is necessarily the right thing for this situation, but any of the more defensive shouts seem to directly contradict being positive and just confuse the players, whereas passion just seems to focus them in a little bit. They like a 10 minutes of passion. Sawinski, I thought there was a McDonald's player in there. Look at this. We've got a proper little diamond shape going on. They're all so close together, but it is making for a nice little system for keeping possession. Harris coming back and getting involved as well. Swan now plays it out to Gregson, who's got quite a lot of space to find a cross on this right-hand side, but gets clattered and doesn't apparently win a free kick for it. They've switched the play to come down the other side, which seems a little bit weird when they know there's a gaping hole on the right-hand side that they just caused by kicking him. And they've tested our keeper a little bit there. We've fired up our players, but McDons are on the attack again with a corner, and Humphreys collects it comfortably. That's something you don't get with Civita because he's so short. So there's your argument for playing Humphreys. He can actually come out and collect crosses. Sawinski to Swan. We're very, very deep. They're pushing us back here, and we are struggling to get out. And I don't really know what I do to stop that from happening. I'm such a talented manager. Weymouth does brilliantly there to intercept, finds Anthony Harris, who's got space to run into, beats his man beautifully, crosses over to Swan, who grabs the goal. It's McDons 2, Holme 4. That's a lovely counter-attacking goal, and so much of the credit there has to go for Anthony Harris because he's done brilliantly. Just skips past his man there, then uses his pace to create some space. Beautiful cross. Looked like an own goal to me. But there's 4 of our players queuing up there to tuck that one away. Swan's the one who gets credited with it. And we go 4-2 up. We'll now take off Fernandez, bring on Bakinson. Just swap those two over. Make Bakinson the more attacking of the two. So Sawinski can do their running around a lot role. And hopefully that's McDons dealt with. And then Wimbledon are going to be the greater threat, partly because they're a real football club and partly because they're actually challenging for the playoffs where McDons are down in the relegation zone. Matondo, not quite as fancy as Harris there, gets clattered. And now they're coming down this left-hand side again. Ball over the top. Is Humphreys out to cover it? Of course he's not. Of course he's not. Oh my word. 4-3 now. Concentrate seems like an appropriate shout at this juncture. Do we have to watch the replay? I mean, certainly switching back to an old school Kev tactic has very much brought back the old school Kev high scoring games. I don't think we're necessarily far away from our first 6-6 draw in a long time, because yes, we're much better going forward now than we have been for several seasons, but we are so poor at the back. And I think a lot of it is the goalkeeper. I think we could probably still do with another centre-back, but we've fixed the full-backs. We've got a decent centre-back in the shape of Wright, but the goalkeeper's poor. And we're going to make him our scapegoat because we always have to have a scapegoat. Let's assertively say second half was rubbish, just to keep him motivated for the Wimbledon game, which is coming up right now, and hopefully will be another victory. No changes for the Wimbledon game then when we're scoring goals as well as we are at the moment. Who needs to change things? Yeah, we're conceding goals too, but as long as we score more than they do, it's old school Kev football. What is this contraption they've got here? It looks like a sword. Weird. Hopefully it's some. That looks like a midfield we can dominate. Let's go dominate a midfield, score lots of goals. Calmly go carry on where you finished off the last match. Actually, didn't I criticise them at the end of the last match? They seem to respond well. Hopefully they forgot too. McCormick in midfield there, just winning the ball back. It's exactly what he's there to do. And plays it out to Weymouth. Let's have a goal here straight away. It's a very early highlight, so it does feel like a goal must be coming. Matondo out to Gregson. Harris is in the middle. There is Harris, and it's only his second goal of the season for Anthony Harris. With all the excitement with Matondo, we've kind of forgotten. Harris is drifting under the radar. He's still playing very well. He has had a little bit of time out injured, so Powell did play in a few league games while Harris was out, but only his second goal of the season. He is our captain now, and he's making those around him play better, and that's the important thing about Anthony Harris. Remember, he was instrumental in Mick Powell's first season when he got like 40 goals. So many of them were created by Anthony Harris. Not even necessarily direct assists, but just his running, dragging people out of the way, winning penalties, that kind of thing. And have we got real sponsors going on here? Is that because this is Wimbledon and there's the relationship between Wimbledon and Football Manager? But these look like, I mean, Paul Sprank Roofing. That doesn't feel like someone who's going to sponsor Football Manager, which is normally how this stuff works. Are these the real What a move from Harris there. I don't understand that one. I need to Google who Paul Sprank Roofing is. I know you have the option to click on them, but I've got that turned off so I don't accidentally click on them and see the sponsors. I want to find out who Paul Sprank Roofing is, because I've never seen. I mean, that just adds a gazillion. I want more of that, please. Forget having real sponsors of the game. I want I want the real sponsors from the football teams. That's the only one, really. And they're all over the place. They must have actually bought a sponsorship into the game somehow. I'm pausing. I need to find out who Paul Sprank Roofing are. After this corner, I'm going to find out. I want to know if I want to sponsor the game. I want LOLLUJO all the way around the advertising boardings and all the other creators' videos. How much is that going to cost me? Just double check. Paul Sprank Roofing are a real roofing company based in Wimbledon. So that is awesome. That must just be because of the relationship. That must be part of the deal with Sports Interactive working with Wimbledon. Maybe some of their sponsors come through into the game. Because there's a gas company there as well. That is so cool. I want this on all grounds, and I want my name on everyone else's videos. We're going to do a Kickstarter. Someone hit me up and let me know how much it costs to get LOLLUJO on all the advertising hoardings. And then watch the amount of videos spring up of people trying to learn how to disable them. Oh, it'd be so much fun. Matondo's just scored again, by the way. That's his hat-trick. Is that his hat-trick? No, he scored twice in the last game. That's his first goal in this game. I'm so excited by the advertising boards. I can't follow what's going on the pitch. We're top of the league as well, and I'm more excited about a roofing company. Right. Calmly. Yeah, don't get complacent. Just carry on doing what you're doing. Matondo's confused. What, because I just don't want you to start playing poorly? It's not that confusing. Wearmouth. No, it was just the kick-off highlight. McCormick's picked up a knock. And I think, with it being a potential knee injury, there's no good reason to keep him on the pitch. We've got Shane Phillips sat there on the bench. I might actually leave him in the centre of midfield because I think potentially when we dropped him back in the McDons game, we actually brought the whole midfield back, and that little diamond shape was always hovering around on the edge of our area. And maybe we need to keep him further forward just to not invite them onto us. Morton now plays it out to Gregson, who's got loads of space again to get the cross in. The cross does come in deep. It's to Harris, and it was probably a little bit too deep. He struggled to get any kind of power on it, and it's straight at the keeper. Phillips winning the header in midfield, which is not too bad when you consider he's another one who's very short. The golden generation of our players, they were all great, but they were all short. I don't think any of them were taller than 5'10". Harris, Powell. I mean, Dean Morris, perhaps he's a 6-footer. That's perhaps why he plays for England now. But the other three were all 5'8", 5'9". Clearly something in the water around about home. I mean, it's the lowest point in England. So that's going to generate short people, surely. I feel like there's some logic there. Right, we're going to take Morton off and bring Swan on. And I can't believe I've mentioned Mick Powell being top scorer in the intro and you're not going to see him at all in either match. This just shows you how well Harris and Matondo are playing up front. How do we not play them? We're top of the league. We've got two very good strikers. We just have to keep them going. Fitness. I tell you what, shall we take Matondo off? And you can have a little look at Mick Powell. Powell and Harris playing together in a 4-3-1-2. What more could you want from a Football Manager video? We've identified a Wimbledon roofing company, and now you've got your two favourite strikers on the pitch at the same time. I give people what they want. Swan, ball over the top towards Harris, who can't quite get there, but it falls to Fernandez. Fernandez plays Harris in. Look at the pace of Anthony Harris. Finds Powell. Mick Powell's 7th goal of the season. And yes, I understand Mick Powell is scoring goals, but he does not score that goal there without Anthony Harris doing Anthony Harris things. Look at the ridiculous turn of pace he's got there. First time cross to Powell. They do look good together, don't they? It's like old times. They've just travelled back in time 6 years and they've still got it, everybody. Mick Powell scored a goal in the league and it was made by Anthony Harris. Wearmouth now to Phillips. I think this is the full-time highlight. I don't think we're going to get another chance here. And there is the final whistle. Harris has been superb today and got the credit for it as well, which is nice. A goal and 2 assists, I think that was. Was it? No, 1 goal, 1 assist. But just superb performance from Anthony Harris and from everyone else, actually. They all played very well. Passionate team talk there because they deserve it. And I think we end the episode top of the league, which you can't really ask for any more than that, can you? A Harris and Powell masterclass. Matondo did weigh in with a few goals as well. And we're top of the league. And when are we going to be back for the next video? And we'll do another half dozen or so games, which brings us to something around here: Orient, Northampton, Cheltenham, that kind of space there. Hopefully still be up there, top of the league. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Are we playing Liverpool in the League Cup? Sorry, future Kev, for messing up your edit. I've just noticed we're playing Liverpool in the League Cup. How have I not noticed that until now? It's because I saw them there and thought it was in the 23s. I'm not going to show you that, but that should be a chunk of money coming in, like we had with Chelsea in the League Cup the other year. So at the moment, our balance is that, despite selling a player for over £1 million. That's hideous. Less than a year ago as well. The Liverpool money can't come soon enough. But hopefully we should be back up above £500,000 in the next episode. Back to what we were doing before. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.